Ding dong YouTube, hello, welcome back to M0CSN, aka Mr. M Radio Deals, that's me, and a little place on the interweb which is here, YouTube. Trust you well. Nice sunny Saturday afternoon, not a bad day, started out great this morning, and the football kicked off and we drew with Leeds 2-2. Champions League football, come on. Toon Massive, well, we was until the Leeds Massive stopped us dead in us tracks and took 2 points off us. So, but hey, it happens, such is life. So anyway, here we go. It's not an ICOM ID50 because we don't want one of them, do we? And it's not the 736i Yaesu neither, because, well, something else came in. And I was expecting it. It just took a couple of days to arrive. And, well, I went and picked it up this morning, so there we go. And it is Bosch. The old Yaesu Ftm500D. Let's have a see where we go with that. There you go. Hello, back. Now, as I said, 630 quid. You need your brains kicking in to buy one at that money. Well, my brains are still intact, just about. So that can only mean one thing. I didn't pay 630 quid for it. And I've not been given it neither. Nobody's given it me to review. Nobody's scratching me bits saying do us a favour, name us on this and I'll give it you for peanuts, because they don't, do they? And even if they do, you got to give it them back. So anyway, by the by, but no, this one fell into my hands via a very good friend of mine, Pete 2E0HVD. You've come across Pete, I'm sure, in the past. I've mentioned him a few times. He does quite a bit of trading with radios here, there and everywhere, and he does come across some strange situations, and the 500D is one of them. And he knew that I was looking around, sat waiting to pounce, and well, Pete being the good chap he is, he grabbed it, and I just give him what he wanted for it, which is what he paid. And I'm not going to reveal it, because it wouldn't be right to do so. But let me tell you this, it was a bargain. And we like bargains, so there you go. So we grabbed it and we've got it. And it's in the shack. And, well, I have to say, quite impressed with the thing. For the hour or so that I've been playing with it, it's a chunky little thing. The head unit's very, very nice, as you can see. Let's have a see if I can just bounce my fat mug out of the way. No, not do that one, not do that one. Where can we go? Let's have a see where we can get. We don't really want me there, do we? I'd like me, oh, hang on a minute, there we go. Let's get me somewhere around there. That'll do, won't it? As you can see, it's quite a chunky little monster. Nice big fat VFO. Well, fatter than the 400, because the 400's a little tiny thing, isn't it? The knobs, both sides here and there, are I'll tell you what, we'll point with that. That'll be better, won't it? I feel like a gynecologist. The knobs here, they're slightly bigger than the 400. Obviously the VFO there, bigger. The first thing I noticed was the screen. Obviously, it's a lot smaller than the 400. A lot smaller. I'd say at least half the size. It's a lot sharper. The quality on the screen is a lot sharper. But I would think that's probably down to it being, I think it's an LED screen more than likely. It's a touch screen. I think it is. Or it does something, I'm not too sure. But I think it's an LED screen, so it's a little bit brighter. And as you can see, it's got the little scope affair going on there, which it actually it works. It's relevant to what's on the band. Obviously a bit of noise at the minute, but the 2 meter band, it's very poor this side. But as you can see there, the big centre line there is obviously the big signal on 9625, which is a local digital repeater. And the audio quality, I have to say, I was really impressed with. I'm going to start talking. Hopefully might get a bit of sound out of it. Maybe not, maybe not, when you start piping up. Yeah, the audio quality is a lot better than the 400, definitely. It's very similar to the 400 in functionality, I have to say that. It's not the same, it's similar. Obviously as well, it's got the Wires X as well, which is a big bonus because I use Wires X. But obviously the scope, press the display button, it's gone, and would drop onto Wires X on the other VFO, which is nice. It's worth noting that the Wires X doesn't work on VFO-B. You can run into C4 FM mode on VFO-B, but you can't run full-blown Wires X, which is a bit awkward. It's not the end of the world, I have to say. But if we switch, let's just have a see there. We switch bands up to there. Press the Wires X button, and you'll see the X firing up there, and it will bring into Wires X when he stops talking, and then obviously give you the full Wires X functionality, which you can't get on VFO-B. But you can't get that on the 400 neither. I think all the Wires X radios are much of a much, and he's still talking. I did notice that the audio, if you just have a quick listen, he does sound better for my ears. Sounds better than the 400. But I wonder if that's to do with the AESS system speaker. I'm not too sure. Let me just get in there. I'd like him to go into Wires X when he shuts up talking. Yeah, the AESS speaker option there. There is a thing there. If you press the main volume button, it obviously gives you equalization options for the front and rear speakers, etc. And it does make a difference when you change the pitch, etc. It does make a noticeable difference. So that's something that they've thrown in on this. I'm not too sure if it's a deal breaker, but you can hear the tone there. Doesn't sound too bad.
Sometimes I don't see my focus, my glasses, so this is easy to see. And
bring the microphone round a bit.
The second one. And, but yeah, these are great radios. And, may I ask what your other project is or going to be? Over?
Well, I have the Ft500 that I'm going to install or have installed in my truck, and I've been just.
As you can see, the audio seems to be reasonably good quality. Doesn't seem to be too much distorted, and again, it is digital audio, and digital audio tends to be a little bit of a flaky situation sometimes, so it's acceptable. It's got a little preamp nonsense as well, SDX, which does improve the RX sensitivity. Little SDX button on the top there. When you activate it, obviously the little light comes on just above the blue LED there, and obviously sensitivity. It won't be so much on wires because obviously it's going through the Wires X system, but on normal VHF, UHF, it does make a difference on the metering. So I mean, obviously it improves the receive, but it also improves the crack that you get as well. So that's something that you might want to play with, you might not want to do. Obviously you've got your primary memory groups, PMGs, your band memory VF4 option there, back button there for getting back out of where you've got into, and obviously VF4 memory watch there. It's pretty much similar to the 400 XDE. It's not a great deal of difference, and I didn't think there would be neither, to be honest. They're very much the same sort of radio, but obviously the menus are slightly different. Press and hold the menu function, and everything you need is in there. The complete set of menus for doing whatever you need to change, etc, 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 by simply pressing and holding that button for a while. 3 seconds I think. Press it first for a couple of seconds, it brings you into a base menu for TX power, etc, and your APRS repeater tones, just for a quick menu option. Then press that to get out of it. There's also a memory card slot in the side there, for obviously storing your recorded files, one thing and another, which is standard these days, isn't it? GPS, which is quite reasonable. It's in the shack, the GPS, it's picked it up straight away, but on the 400 below the GPS is picked up straight away as well, so no major shakes with that one. The microphone, it's a really nice, decent mic. I'll just get it in shot there, it's probably a little bit close to be fair, camera. It's a decent mic, keypad microphone. Nice quality feel to it. It doesn't feel nasty. Nice and solid, not dead flimsy that they tend to be these days. That's not a bad microphone, that. And the TX reports on the audio are very good. Speaking to Pete before, HVD on it, and he said the audio was good quality, sounded nice. A little bit low at first, so we lifted the gain up on the mic, and bosh, it fired into life, and that was that. It was all good. The other thing that they've changed is the mounting bracket, which obviously you can't see because I've got the radio resting down, but instead of having the situation where you used to get the bracket slotted on the radio, faff around with the 4 screws. I don't know about you lot, but those little tiny screws that you've got to screw in the side of the radio, pain in the nuts, you're forever dropping them. It's only little tiny things are no good. With this now, what Yaesu's done is they've brought in a slide bracket. So there's no actual screws as such, you just get the bracket, it sort of wraps around the radio and just slide it onto the radio itself on 2 rails. It's done. It's so simple, it's so easy. So that is a big improvement. That's probably one of the best things that they've done. Transformed it. It's got a little quick release catch on the side of the brackets, which is dead easy to get on, dead easy to get off, which is a real bonus. It is if you're using it mobile. It's not what's in the shack, because to be honest you don't really take them in and out of the shack, do you? So once it's bracketed up in the shack, it's staying there and that's it. In the mobile I can see it being a bit of a big deal, if you want to keep moving the bass unit. The one thing that I did notice, which I thought it's a bit of a skinflint thing, I mean I didn't pay the 630 quid for this, so that's one saving grace, but you pop the box open and they don't give you the long lead anymore for the detachment of the main head unit to the body. You used to get the little head lead, which is for clipping the head unit on the radio, and then you get the big long one if you wanted to mount the bass unit in the boot of the car and put the head unit on the dash. Well now, no you don't. You've got to buy the lead. I mean they're not dear, they're about a £5 or something like that, but I just think it's a bad show, Yaesu, that, to be honest. I mean 630 quid and you can't put a lead in which would probably cost you what, 50p? I just think why not do that? It's an optional extra. So something to think about. If you're expecting to unbox it and see one, you're not going to see one because they're not giving you one. But hey, such is life. Is what it is, I suppose. I don't think it's going to break the bank, is it, a fiver? But it would be nice to get it in the box if it was coming with one. But it doesn't, so there you go. But what can you do? But yeah, other than that, I don't know. I'm not too sure. I wasn't overstruck at 630 quid, I'll be honest with you. Is it an upgrade on the 300? Yeah, it smacks the 300 apart. I had a 300 and I didn't like the audio on it. It was very nasally on transmit. It sounded bloody awful, to be fair. But it just didn't do it for me. The 400 XDE I have got there, and I've always liked the 400. It's been a belting radio. I've not had no problem with it. It does what it does, so all's good in the on the hood there. Now, I don't know. No, I will be keeping it. I will be keeping it. I was going to say, will I be selling the 400? I'm not too sure because I do like the 400, and obviously we run Wires X, so kind of I don't know. We'll find a use for it. But I've also got the 100 down there as well, so. Not too sure that we'll be doing that in a lot of ways. I'm not too sure. We'll see anyway. But anyway, back to this thing. Obviously the multi-band switch, so 108 megs up, 144, 220 megs, which is probably more for the American side of thing than us, and 430 up, and then up to 850, which there won't be much up there. To be fair, obviously the air band is catered for, it looks like, down on 130 megs. Let's see. Usually get good aircraft received down here. Not too far. There you go. Not too far from Manchester International Airport here, so we get a decent receive on the air band.
Direct Nugra, Nugra 1 Hotel arrival. American 156.
And there you go.
London Ryanair 61 Tango Charlie, flight level 36 there to Banksville.
Ryanair 61 Tango Charlie, roger.
Very good. Nice on the airband receiver as well. So if you're into aircraft and you like to listen to the planes, etc., this has got a really good set of ears on the airband. Can't fault that neither. That's pretty good, that, on the airband as well. So job's okay there. 2 meters, etc. I don't know about you lot, but oh, there you go. Bit of voices. I'll be able to show you. There's that SDX. Turn the SDX button off, and you can see the difference there as soon as you flick the SDX button on. Don't know if you clocked it. SDX off and SDX back on. You can definitely see an improvement and hear an improvement in the receive audio as well. We'll type with them, see what it comes. SDX off, SDX on. Super DX button, as Yaesu call it. And well, it does make a difference, and you can see the scope pick up as well. Put the SDX on and the scope fires into life. Drop the SDX off, scope dies off a touch. So yeah, that does work, that little SDX button. I'm not sure whether or not it's going to be a major benefit to you, because obviously it not only amplifies the signal, but it amplifies the noise as well. So it's a trade-off with the devil in one sense. You get a bit, you lose a bit. So, but yeah, nice side-mounted microphone. The other thing I've noticed, you've gone back to a PL259 on the back of the radio. I'm pretty sure that the 400 is an N-type. I'm pretty sure it is. Somebody's probably going to correct me on it, but I don't know from memory. I'm sure the 400's an N-type. This one's not. It's a PL259 SO239 259, whichever way you want it. But that's that done dusted. Other than that, in the box you get the mic, the radio, the little mini head lead, a manual, and some plastic bags, spare fuses, mic mount bracket. That's it. So that's what you get for your 630 quid, guys. But yeah, other than that, it looks bonny. It's a nice little looker. I'm sure it's going to well take the place of the 400. I don't have any doubt in my mind with that. From the small amount of time that I've spent with it, it's definitely an improved upgrade. So I just don't think it's worth the money that Yaesu seem to think it's worth. And I know all the dealers are saying, well, yeah, look at the 5100. You know, it's almost akin to the same price bracket, but you know, given the amount of traffic that 2 meters and 70 sems have these days, which is not a lot, I just think that, you know, it's sounding a death knell. When you start pricing people out of radios for those bands, it's going to have a detrimental effect to the amount of people that use those bands. So that's a consideration that the manufacturers and the dealers should address, really. It's all well and good producing these nice sparkling new toys, but if you're going to price them out of the pockets of the people that want to use them, then you're going to sound the death knell for the bands that you're selling them for. And the bands are quiet. 270s not overrun with people. There's still a few on it, but it's nothing like it used to be. And at those prices, it'll get quieter still. So there you go. But earn your money, spend it, make your choice. That's the way to do it. It's a nice radio. It's a nice radio. I just think it's vastly too much, in all honesty. And I do think that there will be people that do buy it, so the market for the 400 is going to be very buoyant. If you're looking for a nice Fusion 270 radio, you're going to start bagging the 400s at like £250, which is not a lot of money for them because they're a bloody good radio. So keep your eyes open for them and grab yourself a bargain. If you can't stretch to the 500D, get yourself a 400 XDE, save yourself 200-300 quid. The 400 is a belting radio. It's not a mile away from the 500, so don't be thinking you're getting sold down the river, because you're not. For those of you that can afford the 500, well, spend your money, enjoy it. There you go. Right, leave you with it for now. Sun's shining, so gonna get a bit on my bounce, see what's going on. Thought I'd share that one with you. Nice toy, looks the part, just not worth the money for me personally, but I didn't pay that, so I'm an happy bunny. Cheers for the likes, cheers for the subscribes, cheers for the comments. You know the drill. You leave them, I'll reply, and appreciate every one of them. Thanks for watching. CSM out of here for now. Catch you later, boys and girls.